Hello, good evening. Chris Hughes from Rebound here for the Lynch preview show, episode 3. Tipped this one off with probably the biggest game this weekend, a lot to play for. I've got Elliot Dads from Team Sony Casuals and Sire Taylor from Worthing Thunder. These guys need little introduction, probably easily fit in the category of club legends. Welcome, guys. I hope you're both well.
Thank you, Chris. Yeah, I'm good.
Sire, can you hear us? You well?
Not too bad. What's in your cup?
So I know address the elephant in the room. Obviously, Sunday 3 p.m. tip off. I imagine all eyes will be on the South Coast Derby. How you guys? Are you ready for it? Give us your little intro, your fighting talk in 2 minutes. Are you guys ready? Start with you, Sire.
I'm as ready as I'm gonna be. I mean, ain't much you can do in 2 days. Gotta play the game, right? Gotta play the game.
What do you say, Elliot? You ready for the weekend? You guys locked in?
Yeah, of course, we come to training every day, locked in. It's always a good game between us and Worthing. We got a lot of history between us, so I always look forward to playing those guys, and I'm sure the rest of our team does too.
Definitely. Looking at history, obviously, Sire, you've had some big games with Solent. From memory, 30 there was 230 pieces. What are some of your highlights from those head-to-head clashes with your South Coast rivals?
Um, I mean, recent history, they've been smoking us, man. Let's keep it real. Listen, everybody that know me know I don't play games. I ain't no fake
hmm
individual, So they've been smoking us. They haven't lost a game since I don't know what it was like 20. We rounded out 2020. They ain't lose a game since 2019. So they the like I'm someone that likes boxing. So they the heavy favorite. We the underdog. Maybe we get a you know what I mean. We got a fighter's chance. We might strike a punch, but you know they earned that right for everybody to talk the way they talk. League's done already.
Definitely. I think if we call it a playoff series, I think Kestrel's a 5-3 up in the league, but in the Cup and Trophy, it's balanced 1-1. And obviously, this is a trophy competition, so one of you guys will have that lead post-game with 1-1 in the trophy so far. Elliot, what are some of your memories from playing against Sire and Co from recent times?
It's always a battle. Obviously, the last couple of years we might have had the win-loss record, but it's always a battle. We always have to fight, and they always come ready to play. So, it's one of my favorite teams to play in the league, just purely on a competitive basis. I know any given night, they've got five guys on that court that are ready to, go as hard as we are too. Um, and then being so close, the crowd, we're able to bring a nice little crowd down to Worthing when we go there, and likewise when they come down here. So it's always energetic in the arena, and that just feeds off the little rivalry we have too. So all in all, yeah, it's one of my favorite fixtures to play.
Definitely. And you mentioned that obviously the fans make the occasion as well as you guys on the court. Obviously, it's not the many fans watching you directly on the court. Has that for you players? I know you both take this rivalry very seriously. Has that taken the edge off it for you, or are you still very motivated? To start with you, Sire.
Um, as far as that goes, as far as I don't get too. Nah, that's a lie. Hold on. So I definitely engage with the crowd. I love Hamill's crowd more than any crowd because they'll come to your place and talk crazy to you, and I laugh. I enjoy it. It's fun. Like I come from like I've come from games in New York City in the Garden where he got game was shot right, like with Stephon Marbury, Sebastian Tuck. I've had games where you get threatened to get shot just for cooking, like right. It's like where it's that intense. You hit a 3-pointer and you might on the sideline and people are on you, like, and people are actually, you're like tripping over somebody's feet. And then I've been in workouts for overseas or like NBA overseas workouts, things of this nature. There's no
We've lost Sayers already.
Yeah,
I'm sure he'll
that
finish that
Wi-Fi is
sentence when
playing up
he.
down there.
when there's
I
nobody
know.
there or there's somebody there, you know what you're playing for. You know what you're trying to do. You have an objective. Anybody that considers yourself a real bowler, in my view, like to me, like if fans being there alters the game for you, then to me you're a sucker, if you ask me. But as far as in basketball lingo, because I know Elliot, like I done broke like 3 phones since I had your number because I forget to take my phone in my pocket while I'm coaching. But like we know each other, we chat, we cool, we get along. So with that, it's like that's more than enough for me. The idea that someone I could get the wrong text from someone. Like, yo, stop talking crazy to me. Like, all right, yeah, you want, all right, yo, you gotta relax. Like, and then in Orland, I know Orland. Like, we've spent time, we've hung out, we know each other, and things of that nature, and so on and so forth. And I feel like Brendan, he's played here. Obviously, he's been my teammate, and everybody else is here his teammate. And I feel like there's always been that cross within that added to the rivalry. When you look at it, like George was over there first, but then George knows me from my hood, and then there's, you know what I mean. So he's gonna come here like over anywhere because that's my guy. So then it's like with that, I feel basketball is basketball, man. We not like your name's your name, and that's all it is. It's like you you get on the court, your name's on the line every single time.
Definitely. Elliot, obviously, Saya mentioned it's a well-travelled path for a player to play for one and play for the other. Obviously, there's lots of many players who have done exactly that. Who for you stuck out some of the most memorable players who have done that, and what did they bring when they were playing for you versus when they were playing against you? What were some of the interesting matchups?
Well, there's been quite a few. You know, Marquise, George, Nick Lewis started off with Worthing back in that season and made the switch during. So there's been some big ones, and obviously Brendan has added a huge impact to our team currently. So it's just always good. It's
Is
good
that
when you
it?
fight when you go in.
There's a lot more.
I would say that
There's
seems
more,
like
but there's
that's
there's
four. That's just
there's
a
more.
lot,
There's
but
there's more. We got Josh Goddard. We got, but
yeah,
you know
facts. Yeah,
when
yeah.
you when you're playing against like someone you played with, and now they're on the other team, you don't want to lose to them. I mean, you don't want to lose anyway. Do you know what I mean? But it's sort of like bragging rights every time you win, every time you step on the floor. I mean, and that's any time you play. But I know that's how I'm sure Brendan feels that way right now. He doesn't want to lose. You know what I mean, to his old club. And everyone would be the same way. So yeah, we've had a lot of switches and people switching over and that, but it is it's just part of the game. It's part of the game we play. Players are always going to be moving around, finding new teams to play on. But the best thing is that we just get to hoop right now, to be honest with you.
For sure, I totally agree. I think it's safe to say it would be a close game. If you take into account the last 4 games, I think you guys won it the game before Siam, and it was a 1 point difference. And I know in the trophy last season it was quite close, and there've been a lot of close matchups. In terms of the games for the last 2 seasons, what was it like to be playing in them? What are some of the things that you did learn from that games and take it forward to the next one? I'll start with you, Syed, because obviously Elliot just finished that last question.
No, you keep stalling me. Start with him. Let me hear him talk and then I talk.
Well, you can't sort of hold on to past matches too much. Do you know what I mean? Every game is going to bring a new test. you obviously know personnel and players to a certain extent, but you've got to make sure you come ready every single game. Yeah, there's things we'll know about them, but if we focus on that too much, we'll forget our own identity. You know what I mean? And we've just got to take each game as it comes. I look forward to battling them. They've got some new guys, some key guys. Max has come back home to Evan. They got Jack who's come back as well. So they've really made some good pickups. Um, so yes, it should be a good game.
Yeah, both teams look strong. So, what is it safe for you? You can't really take too much in past games. What's maybe some key areas that you think this game will throw up?
I mean, I don't know. Like, I feel like if I was looking on the internet and they earned everything they did last year, that was an amazing year. Shout out to them for doing that. And when you look, you know, I guess they had a team that didn't lose a game in NBL play for like a year and a half, it seemed like. You know what I'm saying? So with that, which means they beat us a whole bunch of times. And then on top of that, they add Orlin Jackman, a BBL champion 2 years in a row on two different teams. They add a dude fresh from the States. They add this guy, they add that guy. It's like, in theory, it looks bad for us and everybody else. You know what I'm saying? And because you can't like to ignore the past. Like if you ignore your past, then you're probably gonna have problems in your future, and that goes with any aspect of life. Like you can't ignore what's taking place in life. Like that means you ain't learned no lessons, if you ask
Hmm.
me, right? But at the same time, I mean, we'll try as hard as we can.
I think learning from our lessons, I think it's really key way. And I love the Black Lives Matter movement on your jersey. And I know if you guys got the new jersey on, you won't have Cyan Taylor on the back. Can you sort of give us a little insight to whose name you'll be repping once you've got the new jerseys on?
All right, yeah. Well, see, if you're watching, I'm doing you a favor right now, and I'll leave that at that, little subliminal. But well, it ain't that subliminal, but you know what I mean. So listen, this is when it comes to the Black Lives Matter jerseys. Um, to be 100% honest with you, um, first of all, as far as that goes, I'll be wearing Eric Garner's jersey. Um, he's from Staten Island, where I'm from. I actually had the privilege to meet him once. I coached two of his kids. One of his kids is one of my good friends. Like stays at my like we're friends, not play around friends, like for real, for real. Won't get into detail. But it's the things that have been going on in this world. I won't even say my country or America, but yeah. So things have been going on there. I mean, it's nothing new. It's been going on since before I've been around. Um, you know, and it doesn't go just as simple as death. When it comes to police brutality, you know, I've dealt with it firsthand while not doing any kind of illegal activities. So it hit home. It hits home in that aspect. Um, and it it hits home when you see someone that you love deal with it from that dynamic of being their father or someone in their family directly, or someone that if you've seen somebody like if the lady at the store passed away, that would break my heart. Like I see her at least 4 times a week, so from that angle, it's just like wow, she was just here, and to see that, like meeting him months before it happened, is kind of crazy. Now, as far as the actual jerseys, there was an intention. I won't get in. I don't want to talk about jerseys too much because I don't lie and there's situations going on. But it was part of a series because when it came to the aspect of owning a basketball team, I've dealt with a lot of things in life and in basketball in this country as well. And the thing that I wanted to do, and the reason that it even became an agenda of mine since 2014, is when I decided that this is what I was going to do. And it took me that long to get to this point. Was I wanted to establish change. I'm not in the NBA. I don't have loads of money. I don't have this. And it's not just about racism. It's not about police brutality. It's about so much more. It's about there's so many injustices in this world. And this is about what can you do to make the world a little bit better, being in the position, raising awareness, putting your time, putting your money, putting your efforts, even failed efforts. If we do that and no one buys a jersey, we still are trying to push towards a direction. I'm someone that's not scared to fail. Like in any aspect of anything, like it is what it is. Like
I totally understand. And rivalries aside, I think it's a matter you both share quite passionately. Tesla's not the united, not divided, and I think that's a great way to sort of. I think this world currently we're very divided, but I think if we're united, we become better people, and I think actual change. So I really hope they make a difference, a real difference, like what you're saying, Si, not just to sell a jersey, but more to get people to understand the history you have, put a name on it instead of just being a number. I'm sure everyone's really looking forward to your game at 3 p.m. Obviously, before that, we've got Barton, Essex Rebels. I know, Si, your game with Barton was postponed. But Elliot, having played both, what were your thoughts from both teams, and what do you think we can expect from in the game before yours at 12 tomorrow, on Sunday, sorry?
Barking are going to play with a lot of energy. You know, they're a young group of guys. I was really impressed with how they came out. You know, they play tough physical defense for being that sort of age, but they're, you know, playing against grown men, but they're not afraid of anything. I really liked Flynn's game. He was smooth, attacking, you know, using the ball screens well, and Veron too. And then Essex, they can shoot. They play good team basketball, drive kicks, they can hit threes. I'm not sure if Lee's going to be there, but he'll be huge for them if he's there tomorrow. You know, that's a 7-footer, and he's built. So yeah, Kane's good for them, but if they have him and Lee, that's a tough little backcourt right there. Sorry, front court.
Of course.
It should be a
Anything
good
you'd
game,
like to
though.
add?
Who's going to win the game? Being that you played both of them
Ooh.
very recently.
So it's a great question there.
I'm gonna go with Barking. I like Barking, but if
Me
Essex
too.
are hitting their shots, it's gonna be tough. But I like Barking, man.
I think Barkin got the best play on the floor with Veron Ezek. So
Tough.
it's like, to me, he's the best player on the floor. I think and to be honest, I think he's still underperforming. So with that, and I don't know, it's time for him to showcase.
Yeah, it should be a good game. I can't wait to watch that.
Definitely.
The
Before
bits,
we
yeah.
obviously, you guys been in the NBA for quite a while. the observation I feel is watching all the games, it's quite a competitive league this season. I think it's quite hard to call
Time out,
sort
time
of
out, time out.
5th to
Who you
10th.
got?
Oh, in that game, it
Yeah,
depends.
you got,
If both teams have a fit roster, I'd say I'd say Barking, because I think Essex live and die by the three, and I think not all the time that works. But Barking, I think, got some good players and good systems. So I
Have
think
you interviewed them
Barking,
yet?
especially. Not yet, they're coming on next, so I'll have to live and die by my comments there.
Yeah, see, now someone
Let's
gonna
be
be
close.
set 'em
upset
up,
with you. I
man.
like that.
Yeah. So before you guys go, I'd love to get your opinion. For me, I've always loved promoting the NBL, but do you guys think it's only the most competitive season? What stood out for you in terms of the bubble in general, Elliot?
So repeat that question. It cut out for a sec.
Obviously, you guys been in the NBL for quite a few years, and obviously see players and teams come and go. But for me, I feel like this year could be one of the most competitive seasons, especially in those sort of mid to lower playoff positions. Are there teams that stood out for you, and what do you think is the NBL more competitive this season?
I think it's there's a lot of players that have come back home that could probably play in Europe somewhere. Maybe they've just finished college. But with the situation in the world right now, it's kind of tough to get a sort of decent situation. And maybe players just want to be closer to home. So we've got a lot of talent that have come back and playing for their sort of local teams. So it's going to be competitive all throughout the league. It's just going to be down to which teams are able to really gel as a squad and stick through it. I'm not too sure how it's going to look at the end of the season, to be honest. Thames Valley look good. Obviously, they've lost Martel, but they've added Lewis Champion, experienced BBL point guard. So that's a great pickup for them. Hemel are always going to be tough. They've pretty much got a similar squad coming back. Added Teo, who's used to play for us on his last trip out. So that's going to
And
be a
what's
good
his
game
name?
too.
And what's his name? That was at Leicester. Because over the last 2 years, they took. It's almost like they took the best of both. Because they had
Mm.
what's his name? Levi. Levi wasn't there
Oh
last
yeah,
season. He was
Levi.
the season before.
Levi. Yeah.
But then they added him and
And
Teo
Teo.
with the people they had
Yeah,
previously.
yeah.
So
It's going
I
to be.
don't know.
They're a tough team. I can't wait, really. Fingers crossed that, nothing happens and we can, play basketball and you guys can watch on YouTube or whatever. But, I can't wait to kick the season off. Obviously, I can't wait to play Zaire on Sunday and those guys down in Worthing, and then get the league started, hopefully next weekend as well.
Definitely, this game's got a lot to play for. Whoever comes top of the group has home court advantage in the next round knockouts. So, what are your thoughts this season? Do you echo what Elliot said, or was there other players that maybe you did mention but impressed yourself?
Well, I mentioned Verone already. Like as far because I pay a lot of attention to the young boys. Obviously, Cam, like straight
Mm.
up killer. That is what it is. What it is. But like Verone, I pay attention to that kind of stuff. Uh, Let me see. Yeah, Hamill looked dangerous. Uh, Thames Valley definitely because even though you said that they added you made it like a like for like replacement with Champion.
First champion.
Yeah.
It's Champion with another American that's actually who's going to be replacing Martel. So
Yeah.
with that, if that signing is right, then that's dangerous. Um, what else, man? There's a lot of like I don't know. I'm just looking at the league, man. I'm just trying to do the best I can. I'm old now. I'm old. I'm old and injured, man. I just gotta. I'm just trying to get by. I'm just trying, you know.
I think you do
I'm
more than
just
just
trying to
get
Zaire's
by,
get
gonna win
so
by.
every
Got.
single
don't
game.
talk it down
Zaire's
now
gonna
before
win every single
Sunday.
game,
But
man.
No, I'm
Don't
saying
let
you got
don't
a
let him
bunch
down.
of. Listen, you got a bunch of young Thundercats in this league right now. You know, it's their
Yeah.
time. Like me, like yo, you seen me play 2 weeks ago because you didn't get to play last week. Like single digit score. Like I had a triple single you know, 8, whatever the number I had, 4, I think. So I think with that, um, yeah, I'm just trying to go out there, not make too many mistakes, um, stay composed, and just get composure. Because we gotta, as much like I said, Cam's a killer, but he's a young killer. So you just like, and in any dynamic, basketball or life, when you're a young killer, you just like you just kill indiscriminately, like you don't care, and it's just like you just. So with that, it's like I just want to be there to be that balance. Like yo, I used to be a young killer, man. I used to be able to jump
Definitely.
like you jumping now. I used to be able to dribble like you dribble. I used to be able to shoot and all that. Right now, I'm running businesses. I'm keeping things afloat. Like, and in this time span, I feel like there's nothing really like that's the most important thing. Like, just keeping this alive more than being ready to play a game or things of that nature, because we don't have the biggest staff. And so my thing is like while I'm out there, let's keep it composed. I feel I can't wait for people to see Howard. He is talent. He's talented, but he's going to be going against a former Eurobasket Player of the Year. You know what I'm saying? So
Definitely. I think
that's a lot.
you're definitely a hard person to get the ball off on the court, and definitely the mic bag. But I really appreciate you both coming on. Unfortunately, down to a time limit here with a lot of guys coming on. For
Right,
anyone
right.
watching, obviously the game's on Sunday, 3 p.m. streamed live on Basketball England show. I'd love to get you guys back on again. Maybe we could sort out in the works. And I'd love talking to you both. Listen to you talk about basketball to sit here all night. But the other guys are waiting patiently. Thank you both for coming on, and I'm sure
Thanks
everyone's
for having
really
us.
looking forward to Sunday's game.
Yo,
You're welcome.
text me, bro, because I don't got your number no more.
All
We
right.
will.
I don't think I got yours, but I'll see. I got a new phone too.
Let's see if you do. All right, then this weekend.
All right.
Okay, stay safe, both of you,
All
and
right.
we'll see you on the screen on Sunday, 3 p.m. on Basketball England's YouTube page. Next up is Flynn Boardman and Kane van Heinigen. Welcome, lads. Apologies about the delay. Hope you're both well. Start with Kane. How are you?
I'm good. How about yourself?
Yeah, not too bad. Excited for Sunday. Two big games yourselves. Playing Barkin. Obviously, we've got Flynn Boardman, Raphael on, and obviously the Solent, who we just spoke to before. Flynn, how are you? Welcome back on the show.
Thank you for having me. Yeah, I'm good. Just ready to go on the weekend. I think we all are. So yeah, we're good.
Yeah, I know. I was sort of looking throughout. I started this morning in the knowledge that there's 5 games on, and then I sort of finished work. It was 4, and I was like, please, just let's have basketball this weekend. Um, Obviously, you guys didn't play last weekend. How was that feeling not being able to play and watching the other teams play, Flynn?
It was just annoying because like we had a great week of practice leading up to that, and I feel like when we played against Solent, like that feeling of being back was so great. We were just so eager to go on last weekend, and then obviously finding out that we weren't able to play was just it was quite annoying. But again, it just fueled us for this week's practice leading up for the game on the weekend. So yeah, it was quite annoying, but we're excited to get back to it.
Definitely, and Kane, luckily you've had 2 games now. What do you make of the NBL, and how you been finding it over here with your teammates?
I like it, man. Especially coming from America, it's just way quicker basketball, way more high-paced basketball. It's still, at least as competitive as what I'm used to. So, and I've had a lot of fun these past weekends. So, so far so good.
And definitely, obviously, you played last weekend and got a bit of a baptism of fire versus a very strong Solent team. What's training been like this week? What has been some of the reflections within the squad following that the loss last weekend?
Honestly, with what we put up there, we just had to kind of refocus on what going hard really means for us and where the bar for us is currently and where we have to set it in order for us to, properly compete in the division that we're in right now. So every session has been just, a full 110% on just going after it every day.
Definitely. Obviously, you played both of them, and like Sayer actually asked the best question in terms of that last interview. He asked us all to predict who you think will win the other game. I haven't played both. Who do you think's going to come out tops on Sunday between those two teams, Shane?
Excuse me, between who? Kind of cut
Solent
out a
and
little bit.
Worthing, the two guys you played the last 2 weekends.
I mean, crap. Worthing is a heck of a team, of course, but I think Solent, from the starting five all the way down to the last man on the bench is just a little bit more loaded, and I think that they will come out on top.
Flynn, what are your thoughts on that other game in the same group as you guys? Who do you think they have the win in that one?
I mean, after playing Solent, like everyone got an understanding of how deep they are. Like they 1 to 12, they have such a deep team. But then again, Worthing, they have some great players. So I reckon it'll be a close one. But yeah, I'll probably go with Solent.
Definitely. People wonder when the game is on Sunday. Obviously, Barker vs Essex Rebels is the first team on Sunday at 12 p.m. on Basketball English YouTube page. Really, really look forward to it. Kane, how's training been? Without obviously revealing too much, will we have a bigger squad of Essex this week? What's training been like for you guys?
What's training been like?
Yeah.
Again, just after an occurrence like that or a game like that, you just become that more serious, and you just realize that every time that you come on the floor, especially now that it's a little bit harder with COVID and everything, every minute on that court is valuable. So we treat every minute like like it's your last minute on the court basically, because you don't know when the next time literally is when you get on the court. So everyone's been really locked in, and we're just getting ready for this game on Sunday, getting ready to go out there and compete to our fullest again.
And is everyone healthy? Do you think Essex have more players to choose from this weekend? What's the squad looking like for Sunday?
As of now, we've been dealing with a few injuries. We're still a little bit uncertain on what our exact lineup is going to be, who's exactly coming in, who's not. To the closer to the game we come, the more of a realistic view we will have on that. But close to full power, probably.
And Flynn, same for you. What's Barty's squad like to be? Is it fully fit squad, or is there a few people might be doubts for Sunday?
We still have just like Solent, we were missing two key guys. Emmanuel, who's our big. I think he snapped a tendon in his finger just like a week before our game against Solent, so he's out for I think a couple more weeks. And then Jude, one of our point guard, he rolled his ankle as well. So, but apart from those guys, like we've still been keeping training competitive, and the rest of us are healthy to go. So yeah, as I said, we're just ready to go. But yeah,
Definitely. And the Solent group on the whole has been Solent bubble on the whole has been pretty much open. All games have gone on pretty much -1. Have you guys had a chance to watch any other games within the Lynch Trophy? If so, have any players stood out for you, Kane?
I mean, since what I've seen and from what I've played, Cam obviously stands out. I think, yeah, before our game, I was keeping a close eye on Travis Charles, and actually playing against him was a lot of fun as well. So he's definitely in that mix for me. And yeah, I could say that's about it. There's a whole lot of Aerosol. I like Aerosol a lot as well. And yeah, there's plenty of talented players. I mean, it can go on for 20 minutes about who I like in this league so far from what I've seen, but those are definitely some noteworthy guys for me.
And obviously, with the Essex Rebels squad, you got some big men like yourself, like Lee, Ethan. What are they like to train with, and who gives you the most interest in one-to-one battles in training?
Lee. No, I'm sorry. Ethan. Ethan, definitely. Just as young as he is and as big and as skilled as he is, he's just, a lot of fun to play with, play against. You never really know what you can expect from him because as tall as he is, he has guard-like skills. He is already really good, but his ceiling of potential is extremely high. So it's just a lot of fun to not only work with that, but also to see him grow. And yeah, definitely have to mention him on that.
Definitely, I think it's quite an exciting squad. Both teams have got, you both got some very talented youngsters. Flynn, obviously, same question for you. In training, who sort of stands out as one who either tricky to guard or someone you relish playing with, who sort of brings out the best of both? Who are some of those guys who sort of bring out the best for you?
We're all we all push each other every week in practice. But one of my close friends, Veron, that I'm sure everyone knows, it's just like everyone knows what he's about. Very athletic, great shooter. So that's my matchup every practice that we go at it. Also Abby, Abby are one of our bigs, like our guard slash bigs. He's a workhorse. Like he works his ass off. So yeah, no, we're just all of us. Especially for me and Veron go at it a lot. So yeah, yeah.
Definitely. Obviously, congratulations on being selected for the Hoops Fixed All-Star Classic. Unfortunately, that's a match we won't see. There's a lot of talented players there. In terms of what Essex Rebels offer you guys, who are some of those guys you're looking forward to playing against because either you know them previously or you've liked their game from so far?
Obviously, like we've been talking about, Ethan. We know a couple of us know him personally, so it'll be good to go like just to see him go and compete against him. Obviously Kane and Rory. Rory's been having he had a great couple games. So we're so excited to compete with everyone. But yeah, we just can't wait for the weekend.
Definitely, I think we're all excited for the weekend. Kane, what's been some of the talk in training? Who are the guys that coaches sort of mentioned quite a lot, or some players your teammates are sort of relishing to match up against? Who are some of the names that come up quite a lot in training without giving away too much for tactics for the weekend?
No, I've heard a lot about gentlemen right here, of course. And other than that, it's been more so a collective focus rather than an individual one. Fred Barkin has a lot of energy. It's what I can see from some of the film as well. But yeah, definitely more of a collective focus rather than an individual one.
Definitely, and I thought from watching you guys had said yes, the loss was great, but I thought actually in terms of the overall performance, everyone who played in game week 2 compared to game week 1, they all improved in terms of less rustiness, maybe a bit more chemistry. What for you, Imo? Yes, you guys got the loss. What are some things that stood out for you? And as a team, do you think you're getting towards your potential?
Sorry, that was a long one. I'll answer it to the best of my abilities. No, you're okay. If you okay, so a game like that, of course, you take a loss like that to heart, and a big important one about that game is you really see who guys are in those desperate situations or in like the lows of lows like that, and it's definitely, I mean, if you look at the statistics, we obviously can do better, and it's good to realize and see around you that guys know they can do better and that they pick up on mistakes that they made during the game, during practice consciously. And yeah, just going up from that, like the only way from that you can go is up. So I'm not necessarily worried about improvement because that's gonna be there regardless. It's just up to our captains and our leaders and just some of our older guys because we're a pretty young team as well. So just kind of take that responsibility and just keep that growth going and just come out better for every showing.
Definitely, both teams obviously quite young, a lot of talented players. Kane sort of behind the off the court. Who are some of the sort of the funny guys? How's the bonding going off the court? Are you guys starting to learn a bit about each other? Who's sort of like the prankster? Who's sort of like Mr. Serious? Who are some of sort of the personality traits that are quite dominant in the Rebels camp?
Yeah, to start with the more like boring part and just more serious part, like I'm obviously one of the more older guys, so I do my best to just kind of keep the intensity, keep the focus during practice, and just kind of, talk my crap where I need to just to keep guys engaged, to keep guys competitive, just kind of just like spark that fire. Um, we got several pranksters, man. We have Matthew Dishu. He's just a joker. It's like, as funny as they come. Our guy Tyler is pretty funny as well, and just kind of all over, man. The humor just kind of like streams towards the whole team. Whether it's like wins or losses, that doesn't really like define our family culture right there. So yeah, I think that's a pretty good summary of what we got.
That's great. I always love learning more about the players. I think that really sort of informs people, raises the awareness of players on show. Flynn, same for you. Who sort of some standout, maybe pranksters, serious people, some of the personalities that people get to know a bit more rather just know their name on the team sheet?
Yeah, I think just firstly, I think that obviously on the court, it's that we compete every practice. Sometimes it might get a little heated, but I think we've done a great job, especially this year. We've just done a great job that leaving everything on the floor and off the court. Even though, like I mentioned him earlier, Jude, he's been out, but you can really see how he brings how he kind of gels us together. He came to our game at Solent. He helped out on the bench and stuff. He's a joker as well. He's a joker. Obviously Veron as well. Some 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 guys think that yeah he can be quite quiet and stuff, but when you get to know him, he's a prankster, man. He's a joker. And I think like a lot of the guys that some of the first years are Chem. He's a close friend of mine, and a lot of my a lot of my teammates, they didn't really expect him to be a joker at first, but obviously after loads of training and stuff and getting to know and bonding as a team, I think we're figuring each other out more and we're really bonding well.
I see you chuckling there, and it's great to see, but basketball, in terms of everything going outside of the bubble, has that way of giving us energy and positivity. If you had to pick one, obviously when you were chuckling there, what was sort of like a funny moment, but you sort of recall and it cheers you up and you feel a bit.
I don't know. I think sometimes during practice, like certain guys, I don't really know who, but certain guys will just make certain comments just to keep that like competition going. That that it's just sometimes it's funny, but we do a good job of staying locked in during practice, and yeah.
Definitely, I think it's good to have that balance of being locked in the game. I'm sure you both will be locked in for the early game on Sunday at 12 o'clock. I'm really looking forward to it. Any final message for people watching? What to expect from you? I'll start with Kane. Tell people about your game if maybe they don't know, without giving Flynn and Co too much inside knowledge.
About my game personally, or
Yeah.
I mean, I come out there to compete. That's all it is. That's what most of my game is based around, just competing, going hard. Who can go hard every minute, every single possession? It's just both teams are young, teams are hungry, so it's about to be a scream. I'm ready for that. I know Barton is ready for that, and I'm sure both teams are just looking to come out there and just have as much fun as possible and trying to get the dub.
And same goes for you, Flynn. Obviously, Elliot Dad's said you're one of the players who are really impressive so far. But maybe for some people who may not know much about your game, give us a little bit of an insight about your game.
I think similar to Kane, it's just about no, it's not the fundamental skills for me. It's just about competing, having that energy every game, every time you're on the floor, just really giving it your all. Like it's the same with our team. We just want to play great basketball to the best of our ability for 40 minutes. So we're really just as Kane said, we're both young teams, both full of energy. So I know we're eager just to get started and go at it. But yeah, we're just ready to compete.
Definitely, from my end, I'm just eager to watch basketball. I'm looking forward to your game on Sunday, as well as Solent after that, and also our next guest, Jack Burnell side. I mean, he represented Hemel at TBC. That game's going to be good as well. So many good games going on this weekend. thank you both for spending your evening coming on talking about basketball. Stay well, stay safe, and look forward to watching your game on the Basketball England YouTube channel on Sunday at midday. Take care. Thanks for coming on, guys.
For sure. Thank you very
Yes,
much
sir.
for having
Thanks.
me on.
Appreciate it.
Welcome. All right, next up, as I mentioned, was Jack Burnell, Hemmelstorm, and Saeed Amini from TVC. This is the only game to be streamed live on Saturday. Unfortunately, the other games have been postponed. Bit like with the first game we had on with Solent and Worthing. Maybe on paper, maybe people think there's not much to play for, but the winner for that game, that game will have home court advantage in the next round. Welcome, guys. Hi, Jack, and hi, Said.
Hi, Chris. You right?
How you
Yeah,
doing,
not
Chris?
too
You good?
bad. Yeah, I'm good. I'm got that Friday night feeling. Knowing that tomorrow there's gonna be some basketball to watch. Obviously, you guys got everyone's attention tomorrow being the only game on. What are your thoughts?
Sorry, Chris.
What are your
Someone's got a
yeah.
second device on at the moment. Can you turn off the second device,
One
please?
sec.
Yeah, someone's got a secondary device on. So if there's any other streams running, just turn it off because I can hear it echoing.
We had a little bit of echo there. Apologies, guys. We're just sorted out. It was my bad last week. I know first game I had the echo coming back, but it's not me this time. But Jack, let's start with yourself. What are your thoughts heading towards this game tomorrow?
Yeah, we obviously it's our biggest game so far of the trophy. Biggest test so far. Everything to play for. Both teams, obviously, we both won our first games. So whoever wins this is going to, be top of the group, which is, I believe, home court in the quarterfinals and home court in the semi-finals. So it's definitely a big game, and we've had a good week of practice, preparing for it and making sure everyone's on the same page. And it's gonna be a good game.
Definitely, Si. Is that echoed by you? And if so, how's training been this week?
Training's been pretty intense, to be honest. We get open gyms on Monday and Wednesday, but our practices are usually initially on a Tuesday and Thursday. So we've been in the gym from about a couple of days this week, 4 days. Game tomorrow, so pretty much looking forward to it, to be honest.
Definitely, as Jack said, obviously home court's at stake for quarter semi-finals. Obviously, you guys been playing in the Oakland bubble, and obviously, if you guys, whichever you win, will have the home court advantage to be drawn against someone who comes second. Vice versa, if you came second, you put a pot to play against a team that came first. I'm not sure whether you guys actually play against each other in the knockouts, but that we'll have to wait to see. So with that in mind, sort of, who are some of the teams that have excited you around the competition outside of your bubble? Start with Jack.
Obviously Solent have, they've dominated in their games so far. I've tuned into a couple of the sort of academy-based teams as well, which has been good to watch. I went to Barking Abbey as a student back in 2015, so I've tuned into their games and I watched the Myersworth games. So it's good to see the young teams competing against some of our Division 1 competition. But yeah, obviously Solent are strong again this year, and yeah, it's been good to watch those academy teams competing as well.
Said, what have you thought? So I kind of think this year's a very competitive league. Maybe some of the underdog teams have done really well. What have been some of your thoughts from watching the other games in the Lynch Trophy?
It's been quite good, actually, seeing a few familiar faces on newer teams and other teams that recently kind of formed and forged together. But like Jack said, Solent's the team to kind of pretty much watch out for. They had the unbeaten record last season, so with us being second last year as well, so we're kind of like, not to say a step behind, but there's still a bit of attention still on our side, just to kind of get the one up against Solent. So
definitely. So what some of the conversations had in the TVC tab about Solent. I'd love to hear the inside talk. What's some things that you go down in Uxbridge?
I can't leak too much about what's been said and done, but I mean, I knew there was a few players on our team that had offers from Solent, to be honest, but they actually stayed loyal and stayed to TVC. So shout outs to them. But I have actually seen Solent kind of brought in a few pieces in, but I know they've been dominant the last year, so it's something to kind of look out for in terms of who they've brought in, who's now really their main players in terms of who's still there from last season. But yes, to be honest, I'm looking forward to the whole thing actually coming into play, to be
Definitely.
honest.
And while I got you on the subject of recruitment, have we seen the end of TVC's recruitment for what we've seen on the floor the first 2 games, or is that it? So I know the club has just slowly announced the players we've seen come, or are we to
Yeah.
expect any more from TVC?
So there is still quite a few key players that haven't really been announced. Quite a few members from last season, so there's only been about, I think, 3 or 4 new signings with our team, so not too many pieces that are new, but same team as last year. The only big piece missing was Martel. So yeah.
And Jack, obviously you guys have pretty much kept a similar squad to last season, with a few changes here and there. What's that squad like this year in terms of the group? Do you think you're better than you were last season, or do you think it's a bit too early to say?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it is early. It is early days. Sorry, but you know we've filled in the spots that we technically lost last year. Obviously we brought in Teo Olafusi, who's been brilliant so far. You know, he's a really good leader as well. You know, I'm still kind of one of the younger guys on the team, and he's come in and he's really shown good leadership. Same with Levi. Levi's, you know, one of the older players on the team, and he's had BBO experience and played with us at Hemel two seasons ago, I think. So he's been great to have back. Again, his leadership has been really good. And the same with Shaq and Ewan, the 2 other additions that we had on top of the guys that we've brought back from last year. So yeah, you know, we've gelled really well so far with a short pre-season, obviously COVID related. Drew and Mike have, you know, done really well with getting the guys gelling together and trying to get everyone on the same page as quick as possible. So yeah, I think, you know, so far we've shown, you know, a little bit of what we're about, but we've definitely got more to prove and more to show in the coming games.
We look forward to seeing it. Obviously, you guys are playing on Saturday. Last week, I had Mike Williams on the show, and he was saying, but in training, Jack, he never really liked guarding you because you're always shot over him for free. And I thought, having you on the show, I thought, who in training do you sort of either don't like having to guard and shoot, or relish that sort of one-on-one battle with?
Yeah, I would have to say probably Bodie. Because you know I've been playing with Bodie for 5 or 6 seasons now, and he's still one of the, you know, better 1v1 you know, players in the league, I would say. He's, you know, really good off the dribble and stuff like that, and the thing is with Bodie is everything has to go his way, even in practice. Like he's screaming for fouls, like he's treating plays as if it's the playoff final and stuff like that. And if it doesn't go his way, you know, that makes him even harder to guard because he's going at you, he's letting you know about it, and he's definitely a bugbear to guard in practice. But if he's on your team in practice and obviously it transfers over to games, then it's all good. But we definitely go at each other in practice for sure. We have done for the last 5 years, and it's still continuing up to this week for sure.
Definitely. And for you, Sade, obviously you've been sat there patiently. What's training like for you? Are there players who sort of you relish stars in, or who are some of the big personalities in training in your group?
Since we pretty much have most of the team from last season, the chemistry is kind of still there. But there's quite a few characters, to be honest. We got like players that bring other players in together, players that are more so leaders, scorers that could be a bit jokey during practice. Not to say they don't take things serious, but just personality wise, they're just a open person, love to have a little laugh and joke. So pretty much the chemistry's there, to be honest. But I say characters we've got with our physiotherapist Kay. She always has the little off-court camera footage going on, to be honest. But people like Blaine, Charles, Bernard, Taylor, they're like pretty much most of the big characters in the team. Trying to think who else. Can't really think of anyone from the top of the head, but
That's right. I'll give you another question there. So obviously you guys have been lucky, both about to play the third game bubble. Other teams haven't been as lucky. But Sade, what's been some of your bubble highlights, either on or off the court? But next week when you're not playing, unless you focus the NBA, you need to sort of record that was a really good one or that was a funny moment. What are some of your bubble highlights?
bubble highlights, I'd say I made a little repost on the Hoopers voice. Shout outs to Mo. I think I just gave a little behind the back dime to Darnell the other week, not last week, the week just before that. But yes, it's good to be back on the court, to be honest. That's the main thing. Because, to be honest, with these government rules of scrapping the D2 and D3 and only elite competition being able to go on and to play, it's like a blessing. So you don't really get to see too much indoor basketball happening right now. Majority of the things that I'm hearing is 3-on-3 outside, so I can't really think how that would be in this cold, to be honest, right now. But yeah, I'm blessed and grateful for the opportunity, to be honest.
Yeah, I think NBLD was very blessed at the moment compared to D2, D3, and you mentioned Huber's voice. A lot of many people doing a lot of good work off the court. Jack, I know you've got your side hustle, Russell Hoops. Do you want to just plug that? Tell us a bit more about that, because I know you do some great work on and off the court with that.
Yeah, we're a Hertfordshire-based coaching business, so we're in loads of schools, mainly in the East Herts and Hemel area. I run the business alongside Hemel Storm and have done for 4 or 5 years now. So we run their community programs. Everything we do in East Herts, we do over in Hemel as well. And yeah, we run academy sessions, camps. We get performance coaches in. I've actually got James Veer coming down from Barking Abbey on Tuesday to run our performance camp. We've had some top coaches before, like Alan Keane, Lloyd Gardner, and others. And then we also run tours abroad as well, which I run alongside BTM Basketball, which includes Tom Ward from Worthing. Me and him are very close, and we work with them to run tours. Obviously, all of them got cancelled this year due to COVID. We was expecting about 60 kids to be on tour this year, but we've had to push them all to next year. So yeah, it's a bit of a hobby, but it's livelihood as well. But it's something we I take pride in. It was I worked for Russell Hoops. Ben Russell, who now lives in America, he was the founder of it, and then now he's married and living in Dallas full time. So when he officially moved out there for good, I took over the business from him, and I've been running it for this is my 3rd year now. So yeah, it's all good.
And obviously, that must have a great impact on the local community and also giving them chance to grow. in a snippet, what's been some of the feedback you've had from people who've gone on it? What some of their words they've had to say on it that you members sort of quite pivotal for you?
Yeah, obviously we touch base with loads of kids each week, and we have close contact with parents. And we it's always good to get good feedback from parents about our events and stuff like that. We've got our Hemel camp next week, which Greg and Mike, that are Americans, are going to be coaching at, and I've been in touch with some parents this week, and they're buzzing that their kids are buzzing that they're going to be there. So having guys like them and the performance camps that I run with James Veer and Alan and Lloyd and those guys, it's the feedback we get is really good. Just creating as many opportunities as we can, and we don't just do elite, we do really young, we do special needs, we help a lot of kids, and we're helping a lot of kids that are involved with police and stuff like that. So we've got quite a big community of players and different age range and abilities. So yeah, generally feedback's good, and it's always good to get positive feedback from parents and coaches and stuff.
So it's great to hear. And things like this, they are more hobbies or side hustles just because of a lack of funding, but they're equally as important as what we do full time. Said, obviously, we touched upon how the guys like yourselves are very fortunate to be playing in the Lynch Trophy, and it's a shame because obviously Group 4, Group 3, they've been hit quite heavily with COVID. But looking at the rosters, there's some highlights there to be sort of judged as sort of teams who do well. What's your opinion on some of those teams in Bubble 4, Bubble 3 who you think they need to be competitive this year?
I think, judging from last year, a lot of the teams did a bit of recruiting. Some teams actually combined together. So pretty much I know TVC, they've got their eyes kind of like focused on Solent just because they took 2 games from us last season. So that's still just the edge that we kind of have. But I mean, last season, not to say comfortably, but we did come in second. So it was a thing of Solent's just been the main team that we're trying to, not to say prepare for, but we've prepared enough, I'd say, but there's always more preparing to do. The team's there, same team as usual, couple new signings, so not much has really changed from our side. So it's just pretty much expect the difference from what they've come up.
Yeah, another team who I sort of thought, as a fan perspective, I thought looked quite impressive is Derby. Obviously, they got that overtime win with you. Have you discussed Derby as much as a group? What threats do you think they'll have on you guys this season?
I haven't actually looked at Derby, to be honest, but I haven't even seen too much of them from my side, but or even aware of any of their new signings. But I can't even remember playing them too tough last season. So yeah,
it went to overtime that one. That's all right. It's okay. I know as professionals, you tend to be locked in and focus on your own team because that sort of thing you control. Jack, is there any teams that stand out for you from maybe that Bubble 3 or Bubble 4, or outside the Solent team you're seeing yourselves as teams you think might do quite well this year?
Yeah, as you said, Derby look like they've recruited well, and they've added a couple of guys, and I'm sure they'll be strong this year. We had a tough one against them early on in the season last year at their place. They're very strong at home. So yeah, for sure, Derby is definitely one of the other teams outside of our bubble. Yeah.
And obviously, inside your bubble is the only game on. It's 2:45 p.m. tip-off on Saturday. One of the big bits of the news, and I'd love to get your opinions on, is Evan Walsh sort of transferring from Oaklands to Surrey Scorchers. I'll start with you, Jack. What do you think he'll do in the BBL, and maybe after playing him are you surprised he's in the BBL?
Yeah, obviously, I'm really pleased for Evan. I've known Evan a long time, since we were very young. He used to play at Bucks Hornets, and I used to play at West Herts Warriors. And we also played on regional teams together and stuff like that. And so I've known him ever since I started playing basketball. And playing against him last week, haven't seen him in a while. Obviously, he's been in America for 4 years, and he's clearly really improved. And I think it's a great look for him. I think he can definitely compete. And he works hard, and he's strong. He hustles. So I'm sure he'll try and make the most of that opportunity. But it's definitely pleasing to see another Hertfordshire based player, English player especially, that's made it onto one of them BBL rosters.
And say, do you, from the games you played, has any player stood out for you as a player to watch out from either Reading or Oakland? And anything you'd like to add from what Jack said?
I don't know Evan personally, but we did play against him, and he did come down a few times to our practices just before signing for Oakland. But yeah, I mean, for Surrey, it should be a great pickup. To be honest, he's a good type of player. He's a good slasher, could shoot the ball, and he was pretty much their dominant player at the time. So for Surrey picking him up, it could only go one way, and that's a positive, to be honest. So
yeah, I think we can all agree on that. I mean, obviously, turn our attention to this game. First aid. What if people haven't seen you guys film, which I think is very unlikely? What do we expect from TBC, and B, what do you think we'll expect from your opponents on tomorrow, Hemel Storm?
Sorry, could you just repeat that, Chris? I didn't get it.
Yeah, of course. Sorry. So I said, for people who's watching you guys tonight and haven't seen either of you two teams play, what do you think they can expect? Firstly, from yourselves, and then secondly from Hemel Storm.
I mean, I remember playing Hemel last season at theirs, and I mean, their crowd was a big piece of their team. So the way their set up is just the whole environment they have, and the atmosphere from their fans makes the game a tad bit different, playing at someone else's home ground. But I mean, playing the game in the bubble type of thing at the Oakland's home ground feels a little different. Obviously, there's no fans or a crowd just to even hear anyone make noise. Someone shooting a free throw. So I mean, pretty much to expect from us is just pushing the ball. Once we catch rhythm, there's a thing of players will tend to shoot the open looks, and once things kind of get going, it's just a different story from there. But the game being slowed down on our side, we've got quite a few bigs that rotate pretty well on our side. We've got Akeem, who's won Player of the Year quite a few times. We've got Iman. We've got a few bigs that can step out and shoot from the free. To expect from Hemel, one guy you mentioned, I can't remember his name, but their main scorer. First time I actually
Mike
seen
Williams
him play.
or Greg Podium?
Mike Williams, that's the one, yeah.
Yep.
First time I actually seen him play last season, and it was pretty impressive from what I'd seen. So a player that can actually get a basket when he wants, and those are the type of players to kind of look out for. So, but yeah.
And Jack, obviously, say for you, but firstly, I'd love to get your take on it. Obviously, a lot of people will say the Hemel fans probably one of the loudest fans in the league. How does it transfer to playing at Oakland in the bubble for no fans to maybe looking at or playing with Hemel in front of fans? How does that change performance-wise, or are you guys sort of locked in?
Yeah, obviously we have spoke about this between ourselves. Obviously, we're used to playing in front of 500 people a game, and we're a very community-based team. So one thing we said going into these games is we need to create as much energy as we can, throughout ourselves when when things are going well and when things are going bad. We need to be able to pick that up without having the fans that we usually have. So it's definitely been obviously different. But I think Oakland's have done a great job. Michael Ball, Tom Baker, Lee Ryan, the setup that they've created there and how they're managing it has been spot on. And as Said said, we it's very grateful that we're able to play when there's a lot of people that can't even go up and down 5-on-5 in a scrimmage, and we're getting the full lot. So it's different, but it's been enjoyable, and it's the Oaklands have done a great job of setting this up.
Definitely, and I'm sure it's all to play for. As we mentioned, home court advantage rates the winners. What's that going to be like playing in front of no crowd at Hemel? Have you felt like you adjusted to the Oaklands, and will you need to readjust to playing at home without fans?
I mean, yeah, it's the same scenario really. We're just going to have to, create our own energy, create our own atmosphere, and be on each other's cases more than we probably would be when we've got the fans to do it for us. And keeping that flow. It will be different, but as I said before, we're just lucky that we're able to get on the floor, however that is, with fans, with no fans. So yeah, and
Yeah,
hopefully
I
there
really
will be able. Sorry, go on.
Yeah, carry on. No, you carry on.
No, I was to say hopefully we get the streaming availability that we've had so far, so that the fans that we do usually get do have access to watch us play when the season does start.
Definitely, I really appreciate you both coming on. Say, does anything you'd like to add in terms of maybe like what you're looking forward to tomorrow, coming up against guys who you've seen in other fixtures? What are some of your things you're looking forward to tomorrow's game?
Going in with a clear mind, to be honest. We haven't lost yet, so it's one of those things where mentally trying to prepare for the game, but trying to rest up, have a good night's sleep, and try and make it on time for the game tomorrow.
Definitely, I appreciate you guys probably want to get an early night's sleep in, and something's got to give. Both these teams unbeaten, so make it an exciting spectacle tomorrow. Thank you both for coming on. Really appreciate you guys coming on and spending your spare evenings talking to me when you probably have better things to do on a Friday night. Thank you both for coming on. Stay safe,
Yeah,
and
thanks,
I'll
Chris.
definitely be watching in tomorrow.
No worries, Chris.
Thank you.
See you
Cool.
later, Jack.
Take care. Stay safe.
Thank you. See you. Bye.